After 50, clutter can feel heavier than it used to. Not because the objects have changed, but because what they represent might have changed. A box in the cupboard can hold old responsibilities. A closet can hold versions of yourself that you're not sure you are ready to release yet. A stack of papers can carry decisions you have been avoiding. So if letting go feels hard, there could be a deeper reason. And in this video, we will gently unpack what your clutter may really be asking from you now. Because you may look around your home and think, why can't I just sort this out? A drawer full of old papers, clothes you no longer wear, boxes in the garage that have been sitting there for years. And yet, when you try to clear them, something inside you just freezes. You pick up one object, and suddenly it is not just an object anymore. It is a memory, a person, a version of yourself, a time in your life that is gone now. If this has been happening to you, you're not on your own. A lot of people over 50 notice this. Clutter can start to feel more emotional, more tiring, and more difficult to face. And it is not because you are lazy. It is not because you are weak. And it is not because you have somehow lost control. Quite often, clutter becomes harder to let go of because it is carrying more meaning for you than it used to. When you are younger, many belongings are simply practical things. You keep hold of them because you might use them. You store stuff because life is moving quickly. You are raising children, building a career, helping family, or just trying to get through the week. But after 50, that stuff can become tied to identity. That old jacket may remind you of a time when you felt more confident. The kids' school papers may remind you of a role that once filled your days. The furniture you never really liked may still feel connected to someone you loved. Even things you do not use anymore can quietly whisper, "This mattered once." So when you try to clear clutter, you may not just be making space. You may be facing change. You may be facing the passing of time. You may be facing the question, who am I now if I let this part of my life go? That is why it can feel so hard. After 50, many people become more aware of life's chapters. Some doors have closed. Some roles have changed. Your children may not need you in the same way. Work may not define you as much as it once did. Friendships may have shifted. Your body may feel different. Your energy may be more precious. And in the middle of all that, your home can morph into some kind of emotional storage room. Not just for things, but for old versions of yourself. This is why clutter can feel confusing. Part of you wants peace, space, and order. Another part of you feels guilty, sentimental, or afraid of making the wrong decision. You may think, what if I regret throwing this away? Or, someone gave this to me. Or, this cost money. Or, how about the old favorite one? I should keep this just in case. These thoughts can keep you stuck, and the more stuck you feel, the more that clutter will grow. Then the clutter itself becomes stressful. It takes up space in your rooms, but it also takes up space in your mind. What often makes it worse is trying to deal with everything at once. You stand in front of a whole cupboard, a whole room, or a whole garage, and your mind becomes overwhelmed before you even begin. Then you walk away, feel guilty, and tell yourself you will deal with it another day. But shame does not help clutter. Pressure does not help clutter. What helps is a gentler approach, because the real goal is not to strip your home bare. The goal is to make your home feel easier to live in now, not 20 years ago, not for the person you used to be, not for every possible future emergency, for the life you are actually living today. Start with one small area that has no strong emotional pull, not the photo boxes, not the kids' things, not the items connected to grief. Start with something simple, like a bathroom drawer, a kitchen shelf, a pile of old envelopes. One small place where the decisions are so much easier. This helps your mind build trust. It teaches you that letting go does not have to be all scary-like. It can be calm, it can be slow, and it can be done in small pieces. The second step is to ask yourself a kinder question. Instead of asking, should I get rid of this? Try asking, does this support the life I am living now? That question can change everything because some things deserve to stay. Some objects still bring comfort, usefulness, or meaning. But other things may only bring weight. They remind you of guilt, obligation, unfinished plans, or an old identity that no longer fits. Letting those things go is not being disrespectful. It is not getting rid of your past. It is making room for your present. The third step is to keep a small memory, not always the whole collection. You may not need every card, every notebook, every dish, or every piece of clothing to honor what mattered. Sometimes one carefully chosen item can hold the memory better than a whole box you'll never open. You can take a photo, you can write down the story, you can keep one meaningful piece and just release the rest. This ain't cold, it's caring. It allows the memory to stay without letting the clutter keep taking over your space. And finally, give yourself permission to take it nice and slow. You don't need to transform your whole home in a weekend. You do not need to become a minimalist, and you don't need to prove anything. Just try 10 minutes, one drawer, 5 items, one small decision. That's going to be enough to start with. Because after 50, letting go of clutter is often not just about tidying. It is about learning how to live with your past without being crowded by it. It is about saying, "This mattered, but I do not have to carry all of it anymore." Your belongings have been part of your story, but they are not the whole story. And making space does not mean losing yourself. It may simply mean you are ready for your home to support who you are now. So be gentle with yourself. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are sorting through a life that has been full, layered, and meaningful. Start small, keep what truly supports you, release what only weighs you down, and little by little your home can begin to feel less like a storage place for the past and more like a peaceful place for the life you are still living. And if this helped you feel a little clearer today, consider subscribing to Well After 50 for more calm, practical guidance for this stage of life.